from the Transformers Authentics line. It's the Bravo Assortment Bumblebee. But we also have the Bravo Assortments Optimus Prime, and the Bravo Assortments Megatron, and finally the Bravo Assortments Alita 1. So yes, there I was at Five Below, and I saw these guys and I'm like, hey, these look a little bit different than ones that I've gotten before. These did come out in 2025. They are the Bravo Assortment. There's 5 of those, but they didn't have Grimlock, so I'm just doing these 4. Maybe we'll throw Grimlock into some Grimlock-centric video if I find him at some point. But these guys are small, simple, good starters for your younger fans, and still cool and scaling with your Titan class. So let's go through these guys and have some fun along the way. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle, and the tail you see over here, that is Stormy's tail, but he is hiding his face at the moment. You could come over here if you want, and if you've been watching for a while, thanks for coming back. That's very cool of you. All right, let's do this. These guys are simple, but mighty. The Bravo Edition Transformers Authentics. Let's have some fun. Oh, but be right back. All right, let's start, as we often do, with the leader, Optimus Prime. And there is some tape on here, so I'm gonna have to break out the knife to slice away this adhesive, and we'll need that later, I'm sure. But the box, windowless box, but you know, these were $5, so what do you really want? Shows pictures of him on the side, shows his arm on the other side, and shows him in his various modes on the back. And yanking him out of his protective container, there he is in his robot mode, strapped to cardboard. And there's a shitty piece of paper and a very, very short instruction book, like 6 steps. I don't think I'm gonna save that box for any type of display. He's just gonna go into my Optimus Primes and be there. So there he is, a very simplified version of Optimus Prime. We'll zoom in on him a little bit as he is kind of guarded by the lower legs of Stormy. And we'll get this plastic crap off the table. And let's take a look at Optimus. So, very simple. He's kind of getting almost kicked around by a tail if I wasn't blocking. I'm gonna bring over the turntable of Dune so he can fall over on it. Again, very simple version of Optimus, and Stormy just seems to want to knock him over. So let's spin him around. As you can see, he's got very hollow legs. He's a very simplified Transformer. But still, he's a version of Optimus Prime that I didn't previously have, so let's have some fun with it. As far as posability, well, the legs can move back and forth. He can twist at the waist all the way around. Well, I was twisting his lower legs, so we can twist the upper body all the way around. That's part of the transformation. And the arms, pretty much, he can do the chicken dance. But he's very red. He looks like Optimus Prime. And were it not for the inclusion of Grimlock in this set, it would be basically the Transformers 1 cast back together again. But let's get him into his vehicle mode, because there's not too much we can do with him here. All you gotta do is spin around the lower body, putting the bumper in front. This piece here, you actually slide it back, so there's actually a little bit more to it. And you push it out like that. Close up the sides, and the head, you push down. Let's zoom in on him and give him a spin on the turntable of doom. He looks like a truck. Again, very simple, but this is a good starter drug for, you know, the younger Transformer fans who you might want to get addicted. I just had to push a little bit harder to get the arms in so we could do a proper roll test. And he doesn't roll very well. What do you want for $5? But at least we have something that's inexpensive for the kids who might want to play with our masterpiece MB10 Optimus Prime. You can get him this. Good substitute. In vehicle mode, he is about 3.5 inches long, and again, very simple to reverse the process to return him to his robot mode, where he actually stands like 4 7/8 inches, so not too bad. And Stormy has decided that he has had enough of me blocking his tail from hitting Optimus Prime. I think Stormy's a Decepticon at heart. So that's the first one. This is going to be a quick review. Let's take out Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. And Megatron is his biggest fan. Starscream, why are you so concerned about marketing? Well, we need to get the younger fans involved. So, quick look at the packaging. You can see his face there, his vehicle mode. You can see his 2 modes on the side. You can see his arm, which actually carries over from the front there, and his 2 modes on the back, along with the $5 price tag that I did not bother if you even try to rip off. and we yank him from his package. And there he is on his cardboard prison. He also has the jeté piece of paper and a very short instruction manual. Okay, manual. Manuel is a person, a name a person has. But let's remove him from his packaging and put him on the turntable of doom and get rid of the plastic shit. So as you can see, I think he's a little better, I think, than the Optimus, because he's a little more stable. You don't have to worry about wiggling and spinning him slowly. He's not falling over quite so easily, and he doesn't have all the hollows in his back. Inside the legs, that's something different, and he did fall over, but he's got his fusion cannon, and let's check out some posability. So the legs, this guy cannot do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he can kind of spread his legs a bit, so it's kind of nice. And he's got weird side knees, and you can kind of push the leg a little bit so it's tilted, so he's like jumping to the side, getting out of the way. The arms can go all the way around if you are very careful and you get past these projections here. Do you really expect the fist to twist? But he can point his fusion cannon forward. Head, yeah, I don't think it turns. But, he looks kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Decepticon he's like a turtle. But again, a good starter bot. And he can even stand with his legs spread like this. All right, transforming him. We remove the cannon. Fold. Wow, that popped out. Not the most, how shall we say, ooh, wait. You can turn his fists because he's got ball joints in there. So the ball joint is to allow you to push in the hands like so, and then raise his hands straight up. Now, one thing I didn't point out apparently is he kind of has a swivel on his legs. It's in the knee because there's a ball joint. So I'm actually somewhat impressed with this. Fold, strides forward, and he becomes basically your standard Megatron, kind of an H-tank, but then you take the fusion cannon and you plug it right here on top. It is not going to be able to traverse side to side. It's not going to be able to change its attitude to blow any seekers or aerial bots or any of that stuff out of the sky. But there it is. He's a tank. There are no even fake wheels on the bottom, so it's a slide test. But a decent Megatron for $5. Vehicle mode, he's about 4 inches long. Now keep in mind, he's all ball joints, so if the leg pops off, or the hand pops off, or anything pops off, real easy to pop it back on. Perfect for the kiddos. And in robot mode, he stands about 4 3/4 inches. It's not bad for the leader of the Decepticons. Wahahaha! I will crush you with my bare hands, if I can open them. Which the hands don't open. All right. Bumblebee is next, and there he is in his packaging. Picture of him on the front with kind of a foot and a hand on the side. Now, this is a sports car version. This is not a Volkswagen Beetle or even a penny racer style car. But getting him out of his packaging, there he is on his cardboard. You know what this is? And he actually has more steps than any of the others. He's got 7 steps. Alita has 3. But we pop him off his guard, and there he is in his robot mode. Now, I'm going to actually measure him now. From his brawny shoulders to his feet, he's actually like 4 1/4 inches. And apparently that's where his shoulders are supposed to be. Gonna give him a spin on the turntable of doom. He's a little hollow in the back, as you can see there, but not as bad as Optimus. And as far as posability, he can kick forward and can kick way back. Forward not so much, back way up. And you can kind of spread his stance and bring it in close. The arms, let's see, doesn't twist at the waist. The arms, if you kind of pull them out to the side, they can go around, but they kind of look horrible. So don't do that. So he can't really move his arms forward much. The head isn't moving. So not a lot of posability, but again, not a bad falling on his face version of Bumblebee with a nice red Autobot symbol on his chest. Now, as I said, he is a little more complex than the others. Transform them, you bring his arms down, but again, doesn't really look good when you're trying to bring his arms around. This back plate, you push up and over his head, which is a little tight, but it gets there and slides into place. The arms you do turn around, and his legs, you push up like so, they form the back of the car. They actually plug in to the slots on his spoiler. Actually, you shouldn't plug them in quite yet though. Leave them out until you get the front of the car pushed together. I did not expect this to be so difficult because the legs also go over the hands and hide them away. So then you push them in. So That's what he ends up being, a sports car, blue windshield, black racing stripes, Autobot symbol on the top, and there he is. In length, he is about 3.5 inches, which is weird because he's the same size as the cab of a tractor trailer. That's, again, we're back to the, I don't think we've ever left the not exactly in scale phase. Roll test, again, doesn't roll very well. Inexpensive toy, and if you hold it down and roll it, it rolls. Even makes a noise, but there you have him, the amazing Bumblebee with an amazing back kick. All right, Bumblebee is done. And finally, to the lady of the group, Alita 1. And as you can see, there's her face there, her car mode, her elbow. You can see her 2 forms there, and you can see her in both modes on the back, along with the price tag. Now, it is my utter hope that this is better than the Authentics RC that can barely stand if you get her up in the right configuration, but we'll find out. So there she is on her cardboard. Take out the instructions. So like I said, she's only got 3 steps, so not very complex, and I don't have high hopes for her posability. So there she is, and standing-wise, a little bit better than the Authentics RC of this size. Now her height is about 4.5 inches tall. Part of it is this part, which is part of her hood, but it actually gives her kind of a Air Racer-esque type thing. You know, you almost think she transforms into a bird. The legs, I mean, she can kick forward. Back's not going to happen, but she can almost do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Not quite straight across. Guys, don't be pervy looking at her butt like that, but that's actually better than I had hoped. Arms can go all the way around. She does not have a weapon of any kind. Head's not going to turn. It is totally molded in there. I'm getting her to stand. The back of her legs are pretty dang hollow, but you can get her to stand better than the Authentics RC. To transform her, pretty simple. Push the arms up. There's actually a little slot, a little post on the side of her arm so that it lines up properly. Put the legs together and flip those over, and she's a little small car. Kind of reminds me of RC a bit. The Alita 1 and RC kind of share some color schemes. She is about, I'd say, 3.25 inches long. Roll test, because she's got wheels that barely move. Again, if you hold down, they'll roll, but if you just push, that's not going to work out so well. But there you have the amazing Alita 1, who's actually got some pretty good posability for a 3-step transformer. So there you have them, 4 of the 5 of the beta wave of Transformers Authentics. And the weakest of them, I have to say, is Optimus Prime. The others are actually pretty good, even though Alita fell over again. I don't know why they can't make female Transformers in this scale that can stand more easily. Turning her legs like that, actually, though, because she does have a swivel, helps a great deal. I'm going to recommend, if you get this, to turn them about 45 degrees, and she will stand better. But yes, they're simple, they're cheap, but they're fun. And if you're having fun watching these videos, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That would be awesome. And while you're mulling over, going into your local Five Below or Dollar General or wherever these wonderful toys can be found and getting them, you can actually check out these really cheap, crappy Transformer knockoffs. I mean, they're horrible, but it's fun to look at them. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.